Okay, this is where I'm at with Dirty Girdy right now. So it's 2019. This is the first day that I've worked on her. So this is a starter that was given to me by the previous owner, Randy. And he just like, hey, here's an extra starter. I tested it and it's bad. Of course, it doesn't work. But it had better brushes and solenoid. So I took the brushes out of it and put it in the starter that it came with. And the solenoid, because the solenoid, I think the relay in the back is shorted or something. And now this thing is spinning like a top. So I think the problem just was really that it needed a new solenoid on it. But I cleaned the, what is it called, the commuter on the inside. I used Scotch-Brite pad, cleaned that all up. Put on the other brushes that were longer. There was more material on them and cleaned those up. And now this thing's working good. I almost was able to get the car to start today. It did turn over, it did start, and it ran for about 10 seconds and then died again. So my guess is plugs. This does not have 327 heads on it. These heads are off of something from the 70s. I found that out today because I was looking up the spark plugs, and the spark plugs, their applications are for cars in the 70s. So these are the skinny spark plugs. They're smaller, and they only fit in that side of it, in these heads, because the heads on my 57, I have the spark plugs for those, and they would not fit in here. So these are Autolite 26s in this thing, so I'm going to get the NJK and NGK equivalent for it, and put some fresh plugs in it. I think the carburetor is okay. I'm still not sure about the adjustments on it, but if I put some fresh plugs in it, throw the starter back on it, I might be able to get this thing started. Oh, one more thing I did to it as well. In the back here, yeah, that guy right back there, that vacuum adapter, the rubber on it was all wore out, so I went to the store and bought some new vacuum tips for that, so now that's sealed as well. So I think that's most of the problems that I have fixed on this right now. So change the plugs, put the starter back in, this thing might run. Oh my, she's running! Oh my gosh, she's running great. Idling really high. Ah, that killed it. So just got to conflab it. Keep that choke closed. Dang it. Well, she's never going to run again now. Let me get her running. Alright, she's running again. I adjusted the idle all the way out, so I have to keep my foot on it. I'm going to let her warm up a little bit. The points were way too far open, so I closed them back down. I mean, my dad and I opened them up in the fall or readjusted them or something, so I took them out, rubbed them off with some Scotch-Brite, put it back together, and now she's running like a champ, kind of. I still need to adjust the carburetor around, but this is the best she's run in a while. Might actually be able to get her up to temperature. Got brand new oil in it, got racing oil in it, that CR1 Valvoline stuff. It's not as good as the Joe Gibbs, but oh, see, there's not enough gas. Whoa. Yeah, I'll just stop for a second. Oh my God. Oh, that's electrical. What the fuck? Okay, got her running again after that electrical fire. That was not fun. But anyway. I'm guessing she should be around there on high idle. This is the best she's run in a long, long time. Alright, here we are with the... Turn this down, see if that helps.
So I have the replacement mechanical fuel pump, the one that originally, the same type that it came with, the 70s one on it, and now it's running fine. So that other one got plugged or never worked to begin with. So there we go. So that problem's fixed. Next, put a different ballast resistor on it, so I can put all my original parts back on my 57. And then I need to tune the carb. I ordered a vacuum gauge for it today, so I'll do the adjustments when I get that vacuum gauge in of the idle screws. I'm pretty sure I still need to adjust this idle speed, or this high idle speed, because it's way high. It's the only way I can get it running, though. There's an adjustment on this linkage that I need to work on, but I closed the spring, and now it's actually starting just fine without even giving it any gas. So I think we're getting close here. Replace the points maybe, and maybe the coil, I'm not sure. There it goes, the choke's opening up. So yeah, I think this car is getting close to being alive again. Yay! Okay, so I installed a pre-filter on it. No leaks. There is a leak at the fuel filter on that metal line down there, because it doesn't fit right. It's the wrong gas filter. It's the wrong fuel pump for it, so that's why that doesn't fit. So I need to get a 90 down there with a carb on it, just connect it with a fuel line, and then it'll probably be fine. Maybe if you need to tighten it, we'll probably fix it too, but it needs to be replaced. I don't have any leaks on the carbs. They look really good. They're nice and tight. So my vacuum pump should come in tomorrow. Maybe I'll mess with that this weekend. Once it's warmed up, I'll get the idle set where it's supposed to be, and then I can start maybe messing with the idle speed on the choke for the high idle. So we're getting there. Things started right up, no problem. Really feel much better now having that second fuel pump or fuel filter in there before the pump.
Well, I just drove Girdy up and down the road, and yeah, something's not right. Probably need to adjust the timing or something. I don't know. Something's still not right on it. It needs a lot of work. I'm almost feels like I have a vacuum leak. I really don't know. I still got a ways to go, but the car can move. So if need be, I can maybe drive it down the street, and that's about it. Yeah, I still got a ways to go on this car. But it drives, it starts, and it runs. When it heats up, it completely dies, and then the idle gets all out of whack again. So still got some work to do. Alright, so this is the first time working on Girdy again in a while. What I'm going to do is try to replace, I believe this is called the Bendix. I think that's really the last thing that could be causing my problem with the starter staying engaged properly on the car. So I'm going to swap these. There's a little weird clip that's down inside of here. I think I just have to separate it, and that will pop off, and then I can swap these. So I'm going to play with this bad one first, because this is the one I got with the car. You can see how there's a little bit of rust issues in there, but everything else I've been pulling off of it has been good, so I'm assuming that's going to be good too. So I'm going to pull it, swap it, throw it back in the car again, and see how it runs. Alright, when in doubt, consult the shop manual. So the snap ring and retainer are separated. So I'm like, well, maybe this snap ring, this retainer thing just slides down. Sure enough, got me a socket, put it over the top of it, whacked it one time with a hammer, and now it slid down, and now I can get to that snap ring, because I'm like, I cannot get that thing off with that stupid retainer. Now I can get the dang thing apart. Bam! Okay, so here's the better one, disassembled, and it's got this grease on it, and this one's dry, and this thing talks about using oil on it, like whatever number 20 oil is. So I think that's the problem, is it's got grease on it, and that's what's making it stick. So I'm going to clean that off and just put in some WD-40 or something and remove that grease, because it was all stuck up here too. I couldn't get the this shim off of it either because it was so bunched up. So maybe that's what's causing the problem. It's not coming all the way out because it's all gummed up in there. So I'm going to clean it, put in that one, and put it back together. Okay, it's reassembled the second time, because the first time I had this little stupid washer backwards and there was a gap. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. So what you're supposed to do with that little washer is here in the steps. It's like, wait, no, it's here. Assemble the thrust collar with the shoulder next to the snap ring, because it kind of goes together and it creates a seal around that snap ring for whatever reason. So I had that thrust collar backwards. So now it's back together, and I'm ready to throw it back in the car and see what happens again. Alright, check this out. Whoa, it is so much better. Let me fire it up. Hey, alright. Even started, okay. Right on. That's much better. That cost me $0. Yes. Alright, next. Let's start tuning that carb. Been checking the dwell and checking the points and figuring out all the rest of the problems with this car. Right on. Bam. Okay, first thing first, I have the dwell. It was at 40. I got it down to 30. That's closer to that spec. I guess next I'll try to bring the idle down and see if it'll stay more stable now that I got the dwell set properly. So let's try that. Because the dwell is supposed to be between like 26 to 33. It was at 40. So that was too much. Now let's see if I can bring down the RPM. See, it's still something not right. Well, looks good still. Alright, well, I had it running. So the dwell was all the way at 40, so I turned it down to 30, so that's, way more respectable range. But it still won't stay idling, and it's still crapping out. I don't know if that's carburetor or if I still need to replace the points or not, because I don't know. I probably should replace the points anyways. I got a fuel gauge to put on it, so I'll see if it's a fuel pressure problem. I doubt if it's that, so I'm going to, I guess, install that in a second, and I don't know, go back to the manual for this carb and go back to the basic settings for it, see where those are all supposed to be at. Now that the dwell is set properly, maybe my low-speed idle mixture screws are the problem. I don't know. I've got a lot of troubleshooting to do. Finally, have that fuel pressure gauge installed where it's not leaking, and hopefully it won't fly into the thing. So I'm right at 6 pounds. I think that's where I need to be. I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking around 5. But I'll double check the specs, but I'm sure that's exactly fine. See, it's doing that thing where it's just gonna die. See, it just, it survived that time, but see, something's really wrong there. That is the problem that I'm trying to solve. So, fuel pressure, good. On to the next problem.
I gotta figure that out.
I guess I'll go over everything one at a time on here. First thing is I have my vacuum advance hooked up to the wrong spot. It's supposed to be hooked up to there. It was hooked up to the full manifold one. Where's it at? Yeah, that guy right there. It says it's not supposed to be connected to that, but I could have swore I read somewhere that said not to use that for mechanical advance, but I don't know. That might have been for the truck with the 2-barrel carburetor. So I'm going to go through this document all the way through. See if I can figure out any little troubleshooting thing. It is supposed to be between 5 and 7 psi. I've got 6, so that's not the issue. I did have too much gas coming out of the back bowl, so I adjusted the floats down so they'll be a little bit more closed, so that could have been causing a problem as well. So even with the vacuum port adjusted to here where it's supposed to be, and with less gas, I was thinking maybe it was overflowing in there and flooding it, but it's still dying on me. So the next thing to start adjusting is the choke and the fast idle screw. So maybe that's all out of whack. So I'm going to look at that next. Okay, I figured out where the fast idle screw is. So they talked about it being, I thought they were talking about it being behind here, but it's behind here. So I took this off and then I could see it. So what they're talking about when they say open up the throttle fully to get access, it's because it's there on that stupid lever right there. So that's the fast idle screw right there. So that's what you adjust the fast idle with. Okay, replace the points, put new points on, and she's still running rough. Well, not running rough, she's surging. I just cannot, for the life of me, figure out what is causing this problem. I'm getting frustrated with this car. I don't know what else it could be. It's got to be something stupid and simple. Okay. But the points are on and the dwell's set, so that's good, right? Alright, so here we are with Girdy again. Got the carburetor pulled, and I'm going to soak it again. So I got a brand new can of parts dip. Maybe the new stuff will work better. I don't know. So I got the secondary side, the secondary bowl pulled off. Well, not the bowl. The bowl's, there's nothing in the bowl, so I don't need to soak that. But I have the metering block, yeah, and it's in there soaking right now, and I'll disassemble some more parts. Maybe I'll just put both the metering blocks in it and do it once. That makes sense, and then put the main body in there and soak that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. We'll see if I can resurrect this thing or not. If not, I don't know what I'm going to have to do. I don't know. Either get this carb rebuilt by a shop and have them look at it, or buy a new one, or just take the whole car down to a shop, because I'm getting to my wit's end. It's been almost a year. Well, pulling apart the primary metering block, and look what I just found. A gasket on top of the gasket of the power valve. This is one of my parts that I'm suspicious of, is maybe this power valve is stuck open, maybe, or closed, whatever position that it's not normally in, because the power valve, from what I understand, should not be affecting the idle circuit, so it should run fine on idle. And when you open, you give it gas, it creates a vacuum, and this thing will open and dump more gas in. I don't know if 2 gaskets would cause it to leak. Possibly. I don't know, but what if something dumb like that is my problem? So definitely got to get a new power valve. So just because. I think they're only like $10 anyway, so why not, right? So I'll pull this apart and soak this metering block in the, I don't know, and play with the rest later. Well, I got the carburetor put back together. Gonna put it on the car, see if it starts, and I realized, I had the stupid primer fuel pump, accelerator pump, lever was up, and I took the bowl off to try to move it and everything, and somehow something went wrong, and I ended up stripping some threads on the inside of here. So I've got a shorter washer on it now, one of the black ones that came with the other carburetor, and hopefully it won't leak. I don't know. If it leaks, I'm going to have to tear it apart and repair those threads somehow. So that sucks. Yeah. Yeah, so let's put this thing together and see what happens. Well, she's running and not leaking. Not seeing any leaks. Started right up. Now I'm going to let it warm up and see if it continues to run, because what always happens is it will warm up and then run like shit and die. Because I've never been able to set the idle properly. So, I don't know. Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh, I'm speechless. The car's warming up. I actually have it down to an idle that you can read on the gauge finally. Wow, it's running. Oh my gosh. I think I might have fixed it finally. So that rough idle, that might just be tuning it for the adjusters, the fuel adjusters. I need to do that. The choke is not opening all the way because this stupid cam back here is in the way. I need to fix that. I gotta look at the manual, see how that thing goes together, because I obviously don't have that in correctly, but holy smokes, look at this. The car's running and idling at just about a reasonable speed. Wow, I might have actually, finally, after a year, got this car running again. Well, I think I actually got her running. Seems like she's okay now. Oh my gosh, the car's moving. I'm actually driving it. Oh, dip. Need to adjust the brakes really bad, but this pedal is heavy. But, oh my goodness, I think I have a car again. Watch. This car will totally start. Watch. It's been a day. It's been a day. I'm not even gonna step. I'm not even gonna step on the accelerator. Oh, that was pretty close. Oh, I might have to step on the accelerator now. Yeah, I have to now. So look, start right up. Oh, that's a choke. Oh, the damn choke. Look at that, it runs, motherfucker. Fucking car runs. Oh, that's the choke. I gotta look at the choke. Yeah. Oh god, I might actually be able to fix them. I might be able to make this a car. Okay. Oh shit. There it goes. It's finally warmed up. Listen to it now. It says the idle is supposed to be lower than this. I think I'm around 600. It seems awfully low. I mean, someone might have cammed this thing or something. This seems too low of an idle for this car. I should probably, 700 seems much happier. Yeah, see, I told you it would run and start. I told you. Yeah, this is going to be a car. This is a neat car. This is going to be a car.